YouTube, what's going on? My apologies. I did have something ready to come on at 8 p.m. that I had made last night. Didn't like the final product, the way it came out, so actually pulled it and want to do something a little more louder. I was very low, just because I was not trying to wake up the house or anything like that. But anyway, subject matter was basically current state of chooch in the post office and the good, the bad, the in between, and the ugly. Start with the good. Always got to definitely want to start with the good because there's more good than there's bad. Um, I am having just a huge standard peak season. Body's aching. I was in the freezing. Actually, it started off warm today, and then it got freezing cold toward the end of the day, and it rained all freaking day. I was drenched head to toe, but that's the job. That's what we sign on for. That's what you got to do. Average 200 packages every day, and they're taking stuff off of me in the morning and having somebody else run stuff out. So I'm still hovering around that mark. Definitely not doing the hours I was doing last year. Last year I was coming in at 5 a.m. and I was doing 2 ton runs in the I was doing in the 2 ton, taking mail down to our rural branch, which is a couple miles away from the city branch. And I was doing that every day for about 5 weeks straight, 6 days a week, 5 a.m. to at least 5 p.m. every day. And that was something that management asked me to do, and I said no problem. And yeah, it felt like it was some long ass days, and but it was fine, and obviously gave me a nice little nice couple checks at the end of the year, and it was great. It worked out good. This year, volunteered myself, but haven't been offered that work again. Um, eh, Maybe I have something to wonder about why that is. Leads me into the in between, maybe not so bad. To say that maybe it's nice to not have to go in at 5 a.m. and like get a couple extra hours of sleep. But like I said, I volunteered myself, and for whatever reason, um, you know, I haven't even started at 6 like other people have yet. So I got my ideas, and you know, like I said, I have no maliciousness to me whatsoever. I have no indecency whatsoever. Incorruptible personality through and through. Do all my work honestly. Love the job. Love being a carrier. 18 years and running. Kept the biggest route in the office despite being able to have the opportunity to get off it if I wanted to. Still chose to stay on it. And ain't as easy as it used to be, but still go out there and bust my ass every day. And that's the key to life. That's the key to true happiness. That's the reason why that little pool table there is going to become a real pool table come January 28th. I'm getting, for 30 years, I've wanted a pool table, a real fucking thing. And I'm getting it. And it's going right here. And I'm making my basement a little bigger over the next month. And it's going to be amazing. Like, I'm going to be the happiest guy in the world. Already happy, and now I'm going to be happier. Um, so, yeah. And thank you to the wonderful people of Malvern, customers. I got to get them to start checking out some of these videos and let them know like how much I truly appreciate them. I mean, around this time of year, I thank them with a letter and everything, but you know, this is more personable, and you only get to see people for a split second throughout. Sometimes you get to see them once or twice throughout the year. Sometimes you get to see them a lot. Sometimes you see the same people every day, and they're all great. And I am indebted to them forever because they provide my living for me. They pay for our products. You know, they're the reason why we come to work. Despite what certain people might think, I work for the public. I don't work for the United States Postal Service. I work for the people. So, just on paper, the post office pays me for doing that service. But, in the end, that's where you get into the idea of where we're at. Why are we, why does it feel more dictatorship? Why doesn't it feel like that there's ever a level-headed conversation between carrier and non-carrier? It just gets to be, mind-boggling how how people will stoop to a certain level. And I just said, that's not me, never will be me. Um, I'm going to use that word a lot, incorruptible. And I'm going to use that word a lot too, right there. Um, third third revision of the contract. Different number again. Started off, and again, I'm top level. I'm step P. I'm a table one carrier, and I sit there and say, nope, not for me, not for my friends in table two. Nope. It's the provisions and the office time things and the street time things and all the little doodads that they threw in there, and just to make it seem like there's something, you know. Again, the 1.3 thing is standard. We waited and waited and waited, and this guy kept opening his mouth about historic, about how great it was, and again, I can say this till I'm blue in the face. We've all heard it. Many people have made videos on it, and and thank you for those that have had made the videos on it. Thank you to my friend Unconscious Thoughts. Thank you to JH. Um, Thank you for anybody that's commented on it, and made this movement, you know. And Sunday, December 15th in New York, it's going to be another big, all-out showing of carriers coming together to say that this is not acceptable. So now we wait, and still no ballot. I don't know where. Let me just check the drawers here. No, can't find it. I know it's coming, but man, a lot of controversy, a lot of controversy over this whole thing. So fingers crossed, that there is a fair and just way, and that we don't have to speculate and wonder, that, we deserve better, plain and simple. And I say that to the managerial side. I say that to the union side. We deserve better, plain and simple. Um, People work very hard. People work extremely hard. People lose so much time with their family. Right here. This guy, millions of other, hundreds of thousands of other people sacrifice, and are just mandated to work and work and work, whether they want to, whether they want the hours or not. I'm one of those that, would like to be home with my family more, and post office doesn't simply allow it. My name shows up on the schedule. I'm there. I agree to those terms, but, it's getting to be a little better now. We do have some more people, but you always wait for the next shoe to drop, and it's just like, oh, here we are back to square one again. So, all hopes and dreams to come true in 2025, but like I said, 18 years and running. So I'm just trying to keep the faith, trying to stay positive, trying to relay all positive messages here to everybody who puts in their time, who shows up to work, who, does what the guidelines of the job say. And, I've been a little bit, critical of certain people that don't follow those guidelines. And, not the nitpick to say, like, uniform, you know, there is a required version of it once you get to a certain point. Management has been pretty lenient with it, but now they're getting a little more strict with it. So, and the problem with that is you can't be selective. Management can't be selective about who they choose to bother about it. It has to be everybody. It has to be universal. It has to be a fair and equal treatment across the board. You tell me, folks, in the comments. Is that what you see? Or do you see, side A, side B? I do. And it's, it's a little nerve wracking every once in a while, but, I can turn my head and move on to the next thing. I could, cover my eyes, cover my ears, and say, oh my God, if I just didn't have to see and hear this shit all the time. But, again, you have your five senses to use, and, like I said, you can be complacent and just go about your business. You can say to yourself, I know I do a great job, and I don't have to worry about what they think about me. But, you can do all those things and still feel like a shithead and be made to look like a shithead when you're not. And you know, um, why am I saying these things? Because it's 2024, and people are ready to start battles, and people are ready to start chirping about anything and anything to get under your skin, to create controversy. And it's just it's becoming ridiculous, and it's killed friendships, it's killed family relationships, and it's definitely killing this workplace of ours. And to say who the initiator was or is to say I can place blame on all sides. I can look at management and say, yes, it's you. I can look at people that are not management, that are craft, and say, you're part of the problem too. In most cases, it's hard to be, the person doing the work, so to speak, on your side of the fence, and then say, well, they're not doing their work on the other side of the fence. And it's like, well, yeah, we're all in our heads saying that, I know I'm doing everything I'm supposed to be doing right, but if you have to get to that, questioning yourself of whether, you believe that you're righteous and that you are, you're good, that I have nothing that I have to fix about myself. Me, the big fix with me, according to management from past and present, and you know, why do you care so much? And I'm like, that just makes me insane to hear somebody say, why do I care so much? Because why do I have what I have? Was I lucky to get in when I got into the post office 18 years ago and get the table one pay scale and live in a place that is a good place, send my kids to a good place, for school. There are factors of, my hard work and sweat and dedication, and my wife's, and also the idea of luck. You got to have a little luck in the world. And unfortunately, there are some ugly, ugly places in this world where people have to carry mail. And I fully respect the idea that, you have to go out there and you have to face a completely, you know, just a very different situation than what I believe I see every day, because I don't have to look over my shoulder in my town. I don't have to really worry about my arrow key being robbed. I don't have to worry about, going into a neighborhood in the dark and wondering if, like, ooh, will I come out of here in one piece? I know that from my guys I talk to that they face those situations on a daily basis. So that can obviously you know make your gird your loins a little harder when you go in each day, to say that, like, I have to just stay focused on the task at hand, and I can't get into a lot of like side issues. But when it comes down to it, it's about the fairness. It's about no double standards taking place where one person gets one thing one way and then the other person gets one way. A whole different treatment depending upon how chipper they may be with the other side. And there's a whole lot to it. It's not like some big mystery. I mean, everybody knows it. Maybe nobody wants to say it all that much. Maybe somebody who's a non-carrier who makes fantastic YouTube material, says it very vehemently. But JH, I love you, brother. I love what you do. You got me doing this because you unconscious. You, JH, unconscious. Mailman Nick, Mailman Derek, where you been? Let's go, buddy. Get your ass back on here. We miss you. Yeah. My boys that aren't YouTubers, officially, but should always be joining in with us. They're all great guys. I love you guys, and it's a pleasure, and it's a real and it's an eye opener too, to say that the table two thing is a mockery. That it was created. The CCA. I was going to say TE. TE's got screwed. Got $6 pay cuts. It was a joke, and people quit. And then they built Table 2, and then they came up with the CCA. It's all still in the tentative agreement. Garbage. Should be completely ousted. So, again, a lot of love and respect to my group of fellow carriers, and JH. He said, we want him to start carrying. We want him to get out of his get out of his comfort zone and come carry with us. But nah, he's doing just fine. So when all's said and done, I love being a mail carrier. I did not mind being out there in the pouring rain today, drenched down to my shoes and my socks. Like everything got in today. There was no way out. You were blocking it out. It rained all goddamn day. And I'm just happy to be sitting here in the comfort of my home with my family, with Christmas right around the corner. I got my family Christmas party on Sunday. You're talking about 75 to 100 loud Italians and the greatest people. We got tons of food, tons of desserts, and it's going to be fantastic. I'm looking so forward to it. I put in for Saturday to make sure that they couldn't force me in on Sunday. So there you go. I can't wait for that. I look forward to that every year. Yours truly also is kind of the older but still active disc jockey. So I bring my speaker, I bring some music, I bring the mic, and we have some fun. We play some games, and Santa pays a visit. He's nice enough to break it from his busy time to come and see us and bring all the kids presents. So that's a beautiful thing that we do every year. And you're basically working every week except your vacation time, which like I said, another thing I'm thankful for. After 15 years, you get 5 weeks of vacation, and you need every freaking minute of it. Believe me, to step away from that place when you can. And unfortunately, most of my annual this year was used by blocking, long weekends off so I wouldn't get forced. I mean, I was basically forced every single one, because staffing, maybe it's just the idea of not being able to staff. Maybe it's the idea that the people that are being brought in from, wherever they're brought in from are not bred to be carriers. And I don't know. I just seen one too many at this point, but we are catching up now. We do almost have what we need to hopefully make it less of a issue in 2025. So time will tell. Excuse me. In the meantime, it was Taco Wednesday in my house. We missed Tuesday, but I'm very, very, I'm very, very heavy on the idea right now of saying that as I speak my mind, to say that I want everybody on all sides of the equation to be successful, to never feel threatened, to never feel like something is brewing inside of me that would want me to do anything more than say, hey, if you're gonna push a shitty attitude my way as a carrier, then I cannot just sit there and be complacent and take it. Actions are there to be taken, namely your union, and knowing your contract, and knowing what a violation is, and knowing what the code of ethics, respect, dignity, guidelines that are in there. I'm going to say this till I'm blue in the face. Know your contract, and if you don't know it, you call your steward, you call your union president, you call your national business agent, your NBA. I said, these are people that, like the other night when I was talking with JH on the phone, and somebody had said, how do I get in contact with my MBA? I'm like, that's readily available information on the websites. And people need to get caught up with knowing, what's going on with their local and their national. So, as we come to this monstrous decision, when that piece of paper, shows up in the mail, to say that, I look at it as, the guy at the top step and say, okay, there's those numbers, and, my increase is the smallest. Something about that just rubs me the wrong way. I would, but obviously I know what everybody else is getting too, and I see that it equates to what is fairly standard over the last few contracts, but again, it's the job. The job is being turned into something that it was not. There was a civil service exam many years ago, and they don't do that anymore. There was drug testing. They don't do that anymore. There was hardcore background checks. I waited 16 months after I took my civil service exam and scored high just to find out that I had finally got the job. I was like 5 weeks into a new job and going, not really sure where I was headed, and thought to myself, well, post office ain't calling on me. It's taking forever. Well, what am I gonna do? I guess that's it. I gotta find something else. And then boom, there goes this big envelope that shows up, and right in the corner I saw the eagle, and I saw it, and I said, I got the job, and ever since then, boom, 18 years later, fast forward, I'm as happy as I could ever be. But very much conflicted about what the next 14, maybe 13 years I have left are going to be like because of changes that have been implemented that I believe are necessary. I look at Mr. DeJoy and I say that he is a businessman, plain and simple, and he's trying to run a business, that is a service, and our service doesn't quite grab the public like it used to. So he raising prices, he's consolidating, he's doing a lot of things that people aren't liking, and some of it definitely needs to be monitored and double checked and triple checked to say, is it being done, in the best interests of everyone, not just him, not just those at the top, everybody. So I got a good feeling about what the what might be in terms of saying that we've seen more packages every year, so we have to assume that with all of those big crazy looking trucks being built that you could stand straight up in, it's meant to be a package delivery business and less of a mail delivery business. So I think mail will still be there. Obviously the numbers will keep dropping, but when all said and done, I want to believe that Mr. DeJoy, is doing what he can, because you saw him, like, he was getting grilled hard by every one of them suckers on Capitol Hill, and while I sit there and say like there is a smug way about him, he also did take on something that was pretty much in the dumps, and thank God that the 2006 pre-funding mandate, thankfully that was wiped out, but there's so much to be made up for all of that loss, and it's just insane that, what transpired from when I started in '06, right when they pushed that through, and then in 2012, 13, CCA's invented, and then the TE people got rolled back to CCA and lost that money, and, again, I'm just like kind of like, the guy in a nice town, with the table one set up on cruise control, never having issues with management, never having issues with fellow carriers, just 100, and 10% like, let's get this done. And, if I have to be here longer than I have to be, I understand that. That's what I sign on for. But, you would think that after you're halfway over the hump of like, what could be a 35 to 40-year career, I don't want to work 36 years. I want to work, maybe 30 and get out of here. So we'll see. I have to see where things are with that. I'm doing everything I can to set myself up for that properly. And, I push that message to everybody to say that you should certainly be smart about what you do with your money and what you do about your TSP. And, I understand that, there's not enough to go around when you're trying to live in a certain area and you have expenses and you have kids and and you just say to yourself, how am I supposed to do all this? That is an uphill battle that I wouldn't have all the answers for. But at the same time, like I said, I put my opinion out there about Table 2. I put my opinion out there about CCAs, and to say that they're still there, that everything's Table 2 now. And, the new people coming in are going to get that nice little uptick in if the tentative agreement is agreed to, which I don't know. I don't know where we're going to be. It's going to be a very, very strange next 30 days as far as I'm concerned. So, to my guys, to Unconscious, to JH, thank you for continually doing what you're doing and saying what you're saying. I hope that everybody's hitting New York up. I believe everybody's going. That's the day of the family Christmas party. I have contemplated getting up early and driving to New York from Pennsylvania and going for a little bit and then getting my butt to this party that starts at like 12:30. But, we'll see. Man, I said if I was pushed hard enough by those two gentlemen I just mentioned, maybe I do jump in the car and get my butt there, just to say I was there and show my face and shout out something into a bullhorn or a loudspeaker, whatever it may be. Chooch was there, or at least I'll be there in spirit. Well, we'll see about that. But I'm gonna stop there, because, like I said, I did have a video made, but I did not like the way that the energy of it was very low. I was being quiet. I was not wanting to wake up the kids. This is what I wanted to say and how I wanted to say it. So I'm gonna get this loaded up right before the 8 o'clock hour, and hopefully everybody gets a look at it. Comments, thumbs up, like, subscribe. I appreciate it. And I'm here to answer anything. I'm here to help. Like I said, it's all about the betterment of the post office. But I'm telling everybody, from front to back, management to carrier to craft, show up to work when you're supposed to show up to work. If something's going on with you and you can't be there, I understand that to an extent. But, when I've been around for 18 years, I've seen a whole lot of, questionable things going on. So, I I hate to say that I'm a slave to my job, but I love the job. I love doing my job, and I love being able to come home to my family and being done. Once that the last piece is delivered, you don't have to bring it home with you, unless you're forced to bring it home with you because of situations that are created not by you, but by anybody who just kind of can't admit that they're part of a problem. So I'll leave it at that. I love you guys. Thank you again to my peoples, my carrier friends. Love yous all. And like I said, I'm gonna get this loaded up so you guys can see something at 8 o'clock that was a lot louder. And it was like, hey guys, how you doing? It sounded like shit. So this is what I wanted to say and how I wanted to say it. So there you go. Chooch out. Love you guys. Talk to you soon.